That's blood red. That looks like death, and I'm scared, to be honest with you. I have to try and survive that.
Riding the waves of the wind.
I'm very, very, very worried this morning. That's us there. You could just see there's a little white dot up there. This is Bundaberg, where we need to go. That's about 200 miles, and I've no wind again. This is like the third day and about the third time we've been becalmed. And I'm very worried because there's very little wind, and then as you can see, something's happening down here. Then there's nothing there, so I can't actually do anything there, and then it does this. This is the worst I've ever seen. That's a full gale. That's 44 knots of wind or thereabouts. There I am now. I have to get in before that happens, but with the weather like this, I've not much. It's going to be very, very difficult, and I'm trying to work out if I can get from up here down there using these bits of wind that do exist or will exist as time goes on, like for example coming in through here, to get down there. That means I've got to do 200, and that's in 2 days. Now that's like early Wednesday morning, and by a few hours into Wednesday it does that, so I need to be in before Wednesday morning, and then it just gets worse. That's nasty. That's as bad as it can get at the moment. I mean, it can get worse, but for me, that's blood red. That looks like death, and I'm scared, to be honest with you. If I don't make it in time, I'm going to be close to land and in that. There's just hardly any wind out there. If I just had more wind. I'm doing 2 knots at the moment. I'm not even on course. I can't keep the course because the wind's in the wrong direction, what there is of it. But that's the speed I'm doing. Frustrating. Very little wind. We just had some, and it's taken me in the wrong direction, but it's taken me somewhere. I've got full sails up, but there's lots of floggingness of sail going on. I don't know what to do, to go out to sea or to stay here. This is the bad part of boating and cruising. I truly am concerned. Stop it! I'm talking on the... See, stop till I tell it off. I truly am concerned. It's going to be not nice, and it'll be at least 2 days hunkered down there. With hell up here, and I've worked it out that it is actually a category 1 cyclone that we're talking here. It is a cyclone thing. And so there you go. Sailing into a cyclone. Just another day in the old Sea Dog's life. No wind for Barry. I'm going to be in this storm. I need to get rid of some of these covers and hope that Squeaky doesn't go over the side. Up in the front cabin, sorting some stuff out. Basically, I'm doing my grab bag. Grab bag, for those that don't know, is your last. It's like a ditch bag. It has a radio in it, hopefully, sunglasses, a hat, things to keep the sun off your head, something to keep you warm, a medical kit, some fishing gear, all the survival stuff you might need should be in there. I've also got my personal things, stuff like a passport, a bank card, so if I end up on a beach somewhere I can at least go and have a beer in the bar. So you best call an ambulance. Well, the boat's still the same inside. I've been chilling, been sleeping on the couch here, reading a book. Nothing happening out here. It is majestically beautiful, that. Get off. Media whore. Yes, I know. Quick word on life rafts. A friend of mine was packing one up and he was going to give it away because he'd bought a new one, so I took it. So I have my old one, so I've now got 2 life rafts on board. In fact, I've actually got 4 extra boats on Shaddy, up to 2 life rafts. I've got Pooh the canoe and Squeaky the dinghy, so if it all went to rat shit, I've got a choice. Which boat should we take? Yeah. Take them all. I could have 4 boats floating out there. I could start my own sea city. A bit like Kevin Costner, yeah. Sea World! And I would be the king. With the weather getting bad in the next few days, I've just put aside a couple of, like a pasta and sauce there. That's a 1-pot meal. Just open that, heat it. Same with this. It's a savoury rice thing. So there's 2 meals right there. Now, those are for bad weather. You just throw them in the pan, heat them up, and you're ready to go. At this point, I was getting butterflies in the stomach. I knew what was coming, and I just had this deep fear and low down in my gut. Had to take my mind off it, had the guitar out, played a few songs. All I wanted was some moderate winds to get me closer to the shore and safety, the safety of a port in Australia. Look at the poop on the anchor. Those bio guys in Australia are going to love me. I'll say these are Australian birds that have done that. Somewhere over there, about 130 miles away still, is Australia. It's a big country. So good just to have a bit of wind at last. Yeah, we've still a bit to do yet. Another thing I need to do is change the clock. That's 20 to 5 New Zealand time. It's actually 20 to 4 Australian time. I can't work out if I'm going backwards in time or forward in time, because we're a day ahead still of the rest of the world. It's a bit complicated, but anyway, got to do that. There you go. Done. That means that beer o'clock is an extra hour away now. It's dark out there, but I'm surrounded by boats. Alarm is constantly going off. I've got vessels all over the place, all over my arse. I don't know if you can see, there's me. There's a guy who's just going past my stern. Fishermen, they had their AIS turned off until the last minute. I had to get my big torch out and shine it at them before they realised they were on me. There's 2 more up here. They're right off my arse, so you see that light. Well, it's another day on my slow adventure trying to get to Australia, and today it's something a little bit different. It's raining. Had the last of the wind that was good for me. That kind of ran out a few hours ago. It'd been blowing all night, so we've done a few miles, but it's due to stop, which it has, and then it's going to give way to the next wind, which is going to come from up that way, and that'll be the storm stuff. Took the sun covers off Squeaky because in 27 knots of wind, which I think we're going to be getting, that'll just be whipping around all over the place. Hello, hello.
Hello. Oh my goodness me. Oh my god, I've never seen so many. Oh, dolphins everywhere. Hello.
It's only now in editing this video that I noticed these guys were all defecating on the boat. They're all having a damn good crap on Shaddy. Were they trying to tell me something? Maybe turn back before it's too late. Finding myself pretty much becalmed again, I noticed this in the sea, with the storm as a background, strange colouring. Turned out to be sand, so you could tell we were getting close to Australia. There's a big old rainstorm over there, look. Well, I'm glad I got that on video. They complain about my dirty bottom. I said, what about your dirty sea? Then all at once the calm disappeared and we had wind again. But something was definitely on the change. That bad weather was on its way. You could feel it in the air. There's some real weirdness going on here. I don't know what it is. You seem to be going like a bat out of hell, full sails up, lots of wind, and the boat's only doing 3.5 knots. I've taken down the mainsail down to the second reef and kind of bundled everything up here, and I prepared the storm reef, the third reef. That's going to be ready to go in when I need it. Top of it's attached just up there. Makes a small mainsail, which is what you want. Been up on there, got a couple of paddles. Okay, get these in, and then it's down below. You can see the wind beginning to whip up the surface of the water. It's nice that that's behind us, and it's going to be hopefully staying at an angle behind us, but I'm having trouble keeping Shaddy in a straight line. Just finished getting this all set up. I think it's going to be good. That'll keep out some of the rain. And then the collision alarm went off. The mission control down here. Yeah, you can see that he's there and I'm there. This is what do I do now? Do I call him? I think he's just actually altered course. Yeah, he's pulled over to port a bit. Okay, but he's a lot faster than I am. Going to be a long night. Got the engine on. We're charging now, but I was down to 10 volts. The AIS, which is giving me my position and everything like that I'm navigating off, it gets less than 10 volts, it turns off. So that's serious. Still trying to get around this headland. And Shaddy's over here. We were going down there. The wind's going to be coming this way soon. And north of it, I mean, that's the headland there. But there's all this stuff in front of it that you don't see. And there's a buoy somewhere down here. Anyway, so there he is. I've got that marked. I need to get around him, which is another 12 miles or so. So I've started the engine. We need the power, and I'm just hoofing it across. And then we can get into the bay and we can get down here. And we got 27 knots of wind coming through, starting in a couple hours. It's all go. Got my evening meal on the go. I'm gonna literally have to eat that standing up, I think. I hate nights like this. I can't understand. We're only doing like less than 3 knots. 10, whatever res we're doing. We should be doing at least four knots, at least minimum. And I've got sails up. She's holding a course by herself pretty good on her engine, which is nice. But we should be doing nearly twice the speed we're doing. There must be current here. Something's going on. That would explain why I can't keep the boat on course. Then things were about to get worse. Problem with the engine. So the revs are going up and down by themselves. I don't know why. I think it might be the fuel tank. Yeah, the storm is finally here. It's not really a storm, it's not even a gale as such. It's just nasty, gnarly weather. And the sea is quite high and we're taking it on the beam. But it's okay, we're going into a giant bay as it were. But we got less than 30 miles to go now, so but the entrance, we're going to go up an entrance of a river and there's sandbanks and all kinds of nastiness on either side of it. And I think the weather should be down a bit over there. It's going to come up later in the afternoon before we get there, then as we get closer to land it's going to get down, I hope. Because it's going to be a bit of a dodgy entrance, and with the engine playing up last night, the revs are going up and down. It's weird. I don't know, the governor or something. So I hope that doesn't quit on me in the middle of going into the river. The reality is I need to stop about it. You know, I'm getting bashed about it here. It has an element of danger about it. That if something goes wrong, it could all go wrong very badly. So far, so good. But I'm on the edge, you know, as one would be in a situation like this. At the moment, it's in control and everything's good. At the moment.
Too dangerous to go on deck. I want to get the sail off Hydro, the Hydro vane, before it breaks, but it's too dangerous to do it. I should have had that open. Bollocks. Ah! Looking for some fishing boys. I've been in touch with the local rescue service just to let them know I'm here. He's giving me advice. Looks like I'm going to take the boat in. It is actually a full gale at the moment. Thank you so much for all that, everybody. I've no idea where these boys are. It's somewhere in front of me.
If I freeze frame this shot, you can see the angle that the boat's getting to.
They go downwind. They go downwind. It's crazy. She won't even turn.
Meanwhile, Turby, the wind generator, was shaking himself to bits and overspeeding. I was frightened he was going to damage himself, me or the boat, so I had to risk trying to stop him. But after this, things went from bad to worse. At the time I needed to start the engine, she didn't work. I was going to go into the marina. I couldn't. I was drifting into shallow water. I'd lost control of the boat. I really now was in a lot of trouble. I needed help. It was then I got a call from a passing fishing boat and its skipper, Mark, who offered to take me in tow. As the fishing boat approached, I could see his problems in maneuvering and realized just how bad it really was out here.
Got a bride already. Nearly had me over. Tethered on. I don't know how we're going to do this.
This is the last time I saw that spinnaker pole. Later, it was to be a victim of the night. I remember standing on the deck, looking at the boat approaching and its fishing gear waving around like the arms of some strange demented sea monster. Unfortunately, after several hair-raising moments and near collisions and 5 attempts to get a line across, we had to call it quits. Mark had broken his arm and had to leave. I've always been a loner, but I don't think I've ever felt as lone as I did that night. Desperate, alone, cold, tired, and very, very frightened.
So I've had to swallow my pride and actually call the emergency services. And I'm waiting for them now. And these poor guys have come out. It's a dreadful night. It's the worst night I've ever seen, honest to God. They're coming out in a rescue boat and they're going to tow me back nearly 20 miles by the time they get. I'm moving away from them about 2 or 3 knots, you know, every hour. So because I'm drifting, I'm under bare poles. I've just abandoned everything. The boat's a big mess. I can't film the rest of this because it's dark and I'm going to be very, very careful. I'm going to go back on the foredeck and connect this tow when it.
Of course, I didn't know about that at the time. I knew somebody was coming, but how and when I wasn't sure. I was still in the dark. It wasn't until I looked out and I saw some lights and I realized I wasn't going to die today. I wasn't going to be alone anymore. After a lot of effort and a lot of tries and 2 broken tow ropes, the guys managed to secure themselves to me and the trip home was underway. And it was a long, long, long trip.
Well, it's finally morning after what has been a very, very long and hard day and night. Water keying in everywhere here. The guys on the front are the Bundaberg volunteer rescue guys on their boat, and they're doing an excellent job.
Excellent. We broke 2 tow ropes last night and we're about to give up. Then they MacGyvered up something using an anchor rope, and that's so far. But it is and has been horrendous. Not a night I want to remember well, but I will definitely never forget it. I don't know if it's going to cost anything. They did say there might be a cost, whether they meant beer or large amounts of money for doing this, I don't know. But I don't care. I'd run out of options last night, and I was frightened for my life and frightened for the boat. So there we go. These are all throwing lines and things that got broken or used last night. I'm sure I'm glad to hear the last of that. Still rough as.
Those that follow my Facebook account will know that we together raised some money for the volunteer marine rescue guys a while back.
Solo skipper of White Shadow, who we rescued.
They asked me to come down to their boathouse so they could thank me and thank you guys in particular for the wonderful donations that you gave to help their volunteer marine service continue. And they made me do a speech.
And because I know what it's like to have that call and go out at 6 in the evening with some silly-ass Pommy yachtsman. Knowing that you're not going to be back for breakfast. So thank you very much for coming out for this.
And thank you again for your wonderful donations to the VMR. If you haven't, you'd like to, links in the description. And thank you also, of course, always to my wonderful patrons for keeping this channel afloat. I love you and I appreciate what you do for me so very, very much. And you're listening to part of my new song, which will be out next time on Adventures of an Old Sea Dog.